You did everything they told you to do. And somehow you're 30 years old with less freedom than you had at 22. You stand in your kitchen at 6:15 a.m. Cold tile presses against your bare feet. The fluorescent light over the stove hums an aggressive C-sharp. You stares into a ceramic mug that says "Rise and Grind," a gift from an aunt who still believes a firm handshake secures a pension. You look at your phone. It is Monday morning. The notification center is a list of digital leashes. 3 Slack messages from a manager who wakes up at 5 a.m. to prove a point. An automated calendar invite for a sync that replaces a productive hour with a performative one. And a low balance alert from your primary checking account. You feel the physical weight of the degree on the wall. The $48,000 piece of cardstock that promises you the keys to the kingdom. You possess the title. You possess the salary. You possess the respect of your peers. Yet, as you look at the $1,240 remaining in your account after the mortgage clears yesterday, you realize you have no actual exit. You are 30 years old. You earn 40% more than you did 5 years ago, but your world is 40% smaller. If you follow the safe path, how do you end up financially trapped? Who actually benefits from your obedience? You feel the betrayal in your chest, a cold, sharp realization that the system does not fail you. The system uses you exactly as intended. It does not need you to be wealthy. It needs you to be stable. It needs you to be predictable. It needs you to be a reliable unit of consumption who lacks the $15,000 runway required to say no. This isn't about laziness. It's about a script. And by the end of this video, you see exactly when it locks you in. The script. You are 25 years old. You walk across a stage in a polyester robe, flip a tassel from right to left and step into the real world. You feel a sense of immense momentum. You land an entry-level role at a firm with a glass lobby and a brand name people recognize at Thanksgiving dinner. Your starting salary is $60,000. To your 25-year-old brain, this is an astronomical sum. It equates to $5,000 a month. You do the quick math, $1,500 for a studio apartment, $500 for food, $3,000 left for living. You feel rich. The checklist appears in your mind, whispered by parents, professors, and every responsible adult you know. Degree, job, apartment, car payment, 401(n). Family members like your status updates. LinkedIn overflows with blue. Congrats on the new role. Buttons from people you haven't spoken to since high school. You feel the dopamine hit of institutional approval. You move into a 1-bedroom apartment in a neighborhood that requires a $1,850 monthly rent. You sign a lease for a mid-tier sedan because the 10-year-old car you drive in college feels unprofessional. The car payment is $480. The insurance is $190. You sit through an HR orientation where a woman in a beige blazer hands you a 40-page packet. She tells you that if you contribute 6% of your salary to the 401(n), the company matches 3%. It sounds like free money. You sign the paper. You do not realize you just lock away your capital for the next 34 years. The trap introduces itself with a smile. It is called lifestyle inflation, and it is the price of admission to the middle class. At 25, you feel rich. At 30, you realize you are just leveraged. You are not building a life. You are servicing a debt to a persona you do not even finish building yet. Asterisks current scoreboard. Income, $60,000 fixed costs, $48,000 freedom margin, $12,000. Theoretically, your monthly cash flow breakdown. Gross income, $5,000 federal state taxes, $1. $150 health insurance FICA, $300 $850 car payment and insurance, $670 utilities and internet, $220 groceries, $500 401(n) contribution, $300. Total monthly expenses, $5. $520. The math is a failure from day one. You are $520 in the hole before you buy a single cup of coffee or a pair of jeans. You do not see it yet because you have a $5,000 credit limit and a sign-on bonus in your pocket. You tell yourself it is just the startup costs of being an adult. You assume the next raise fixes the gap. If you are winning, why do your options shrink instead of expand? The upgrade trap. You reach age 27. You get your first major promotion. You are now a senior associate. Your salary jumps from $60,000 to $78,000. This is the $5,500 a month raise you wait for. You tell yourself this is the moment everything changes. You finally have breathing room. You think you escaped the crunch, but the script has a built-in update. Now that you are a senior associate, you feel you outgrow the $1,850 apartment. You move closer to the city center. Your rent increases to $2,400. You trade the entry-level sedan for a European SUV because everyone in the office drives one, and you want to look like you belong in the room. Your car payment climbs to $720. Your insurance jumps to $240. Social pressure dictates your balance sheet. Your friends get married. Every 3 months, you face a $2,200 bill for a bachelor party in Scottsdale or a destination wedding in Tulum. You buy a $600 suit because you cannot wear the one from your graduation. You buy $150 gifts off registries for people you see once a year. You start subscription stacking. You pay $15 for Netflix, $12 for Spotify, $60 for a boutique gym, $40 for a meal prep service, and $100 for high-speed fiber internet. It is death by 1,000 cuts. You do not notice the $300 a month vanishing into autopay because each individual transaction is only the cost of a lunch. Rule 1. Income growth without asset growth is just disguised inflation. You earn more, but your obligations scale faster than your raises. This is the lifestyle lock-in effect. You are now a high-value consumer, not a high-value individual. The bank looks at you and sees a reliable source of interest payments. Your employer looks at you and sees someone who is too deeply committed to their monthly overhead to ever walk away from a 50-hour work week. Asterisk scoreboard update income. 1,500 fixed costs. 1,950 freedom margin. Negative shift. You work harder to maintain a lifestyle that you are too busy to enjoy. You buy a $2,200 espresso machine because you are too tired to drive to the coffee shop, and you need the caffeine to fuel the work required to pay for the machine. You earn more, so why does it feel tighter? The invisible tax. You are 28 years old. You look at your pay stub on a Friday afternoon. You see a gross amount of $3,250 for the pay period. Then you look at the net pay. It is $2,100. Over $1,000 vanishes before it touches your hand. You pay the tax of location. You live in a specific zip code to be near the opportunity, which forces you to pay a 30% premium on housing. This is a tax paid to landlords and banks. You pay the tax of stability. You pay $450 a month for a premium health insurance plan that still requires a $40 copay and a $5,000 deductible. You pay for the privilege of not going bankrupt if you get hit by a bus, but you still pay for every doctor's visit out of pocket. You pay the tax of inflation. The $5,000 you have sitting in your savings account earns 0.5% interest, while the price of the eggs and gasoline you buy increases by 7%. You lose purchasing power by being responsible. Then there is the 401(a). The safe path tells you this is your ticket to freedom. You look at the balance. It says $42,000. You stare at the number. Your chest tightens. You try to withdraw $5,000 in your head to pay off a credit card. A 10% penalty and 22% tax wipe out $600 instantly. You realize you do not own this money yet. You are a 28-year-old with a $42,000 lock on your own potential. The system does not need you rich. It needs you stable, predictable, employable. If you have $42,000 in a retirement account but only $1,800 in your checking account, you are one transmission failure away from a crisis. This is the stability illusion. You have the appearance of a middle-class life, the clothes, the car, the zip code, but you have no tactical autonomy. Asterisk financial x-ray at 30 gross salary, $92,000 liquid cash, $3,200 retirement, locked $42,000 total debt, student car credit, $58,000, asterisk net worth, negative $12,800. You are a high earner with a negative net worth. You are a professional who is technically broke. The 401(a) is not designed to make you a millionaire at 30. It is designed to keep you in the workforce until you are 60. It ensures you have just enough of a nest egg to keep you from being a burden on the state, but never enough liquid capital to become a competitor to the system. If this was the safe path, why does it feel like a treadmill? The realization. You wake up on your 30th birthday. You go to dinner with friends. They all wear the same $200 boots and talk about their total compensation packages. You sit there, nodding, but inside you feel a hollow ringing. You go home. You sit on the edge of your bed. You open your banking app and look at the all accounts view. You see the $3,200 in liquid savings. Then you look at your scheduled payments. Rent, $2,450. Car, $720. Insurance, $240. Storage unit, $120. Your monthly cost of existence is $3,980. You realize that if your company eliminates your role tomorrow, you have exactly 24 days before you are insolvent. You work for 8 years, and you buy yourself 24 days of breathing room. Rule 2. If you can't leave, you're not secure. You realize you cannot quit. You cannot take 6 months off. You cannot move to a lower-cost city because your job requires your presence in the hub. You cannot even speak your mind in a meeting for fear of being difficult and losing your spot on the ladder. You successfully build a life that you are a prisoner of. The middle-class dream does not exist to make you wealthy. It exists to make you compliant. A person with $200,000 in liquid cash is dangerous to a corporation. They can walk away. They can negotiate from a position of power. But a person with $3,200 in the bank and a $3,980 monthly overhead is perfect. Compliance costs you $3,980 a month in fixed obligations that remove your ability to say no. You realize the safe path is a trade. You trade the infinite possibility of your 20s for the guaranteed mediocrity of your 30s. You do not fail the script. You follow it perfectly, and this quiet anxiety in a $2,400 apartment is the destination. So if the script was never about freedom, what was it about? The opt-out moment. The realization turns from sadness into a quiet, burning anger. You decide to stop playing the game of career-based identity. You stop asking, how do I get a raise? And start asking, how do I buy back my time? You shift from employee thinking to asset-based thinking. Rule 3. Build what pays you without you. An employee sells time for a fixed rate. This is a linear path with a hard ceiling. You only have 24 hours in a day, and the government takes a larger percentage of every extra hour you sell. An owner buys time by creating or acquiring assets. You look at your life and perform a radical audit. You decide to opt out of the signaling game. You sell the $720 a month SUV. You buy a reliable 5-year-old car for cash. You save $960 a month on payments and insurance. You move out of the city center apartment. You find a place 20 minutes further away for $1,500. You save $850 a month. You cancel the subscription stack. You save $200 a month. Suddenly, your monthly cost of existence drops from $3,980.72. You just create $2,010 a month in freedom capital. You do not put this money in the 401 vault. You put it into assets that offer optionality. You buy equity. You put $1,000 a month into an S&P 500 index fund yielding 1.5% in dividends and 8% historical growth. You build digital assets. You build a digital newsletter that earns $2,000 a month from 1,000 subscribers paying $2 each. You build a runway. You save $20,000 in a high-yield account that you, and only you, control. Asterisk the new comparison, path A, the script, $120,000 salary, $110,000 expenses, 30 days of runway. Path B, the opt-out, $70,000 salary, $40,000 expenses, $2,500 monthly asset income, 18 months of runway. You are almost free. When your asset cash flow exceeds your cost of existence, you achieve the only form of security that actually exists, the ability to say no. The next 5 years either trap you deeper or buy you back your time. You can spend your 30s upgrading your kitchen and your car, or you can spend them upgrading your freedom. The system converts your $92,000 salary into $58,000 of taxes and fixed costs, leaving you with 24 days of runway. That is not broken. That is designed. The question is, why are you still playing it the default way? You did everything they told you to do, and somehow you're 30 years old with less freedom than you had at 22. You stand in that same kitchen, but this time, the rise and grind mug is in the trash. You do not check Slack. You check your own dashboard. You do not look at what you owe the bank. You look at what your assets earn while you sleep. You are not stupid. You are not lazy. You are obedient. You believe the lie that safety comes from a title and a safe path. You are a good student in a school that teaches you how to be a great employee, but never a free person. But obedience does not build freedom. Ownership does. The system is not broken. It works exactly as designed. It is a machine that converts your time into someone else's profit and gives you just enough status to keep you from noticing the exchange. The real question is whether you continue volunteering for it. The script is just a piece of paper. You tear it up whenever you decide you have enough. You choose the uncool car, the smaller apartment, and the quiet life now, so that you possess the unlimited life later. If this video makes you rethink the script, subscribe. Because on this channel, we do not just question the system. We build alternatives to it. We analyze the math that the banks do not want you to calculate. We prioritize autonomy over status every single day. Comment opt-out if you are done playing the default path. Freedom does not start with a raise. It starts with reducing what owns you.